Welcome one, welcome all to another
okay.
episode of Kruz and Zay, the boys.
That's
from
right.
Around the
And
way.
you said it right. That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are growing in numbers, and people are starting to realize that this is a dope conversation between two dope personalities.
Absolutely.
And you need to just subscribe, jump on, follow. We'll follow back. Please leave comments. And always make sure to let us know who sounds better, me or Zay.
And remember, that's spelled Z-A-Y when you put it in the comments, for who sounds better. But so it's the 4th officially.
That's right. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to a lot of people. It's not a holiday. It's just another day.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we learn it every day. Like social media, like I woke up today and I saw all these posts about why July 4th shouldn't be celebrated, right? I saw the argument. I read it, and I agree in a lot of ways.
I DM'd Papa Ron, and I was like, fuck today.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and he liked my comment.
Especially a black person saying, you guys were celebrating on that day while black people were enslaved at the time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to them, 4th of July wasn't a celebration. They were still slaves. So who's that kind of thing.
And that's the narrative for anybody that doesn't understand it. That is the narrative. It's how can we celebrate independence when, in fact, it wasn't independence for all the people that fought in those wars for someone's independence.
Yeah,
I mean, put that on the bag. So
I came across a post of a famous
Frederick Douglass.
Yeah,
maybe?
I think that's.
Did you see the one with he's got like all his like great grandkids, but they're from like different families, like all of his descendants.
Frederick.
Frederick. I have a hard time saying Frederick for some times. I always say Frederick.
Yeah.
Like I can't get the R out. I wonder if it's because I'm Spanish.
Wait, say that again?
I can never say Frederick. See, I was about to say Frederick again. Like I have to like think about it before I say it.
Frederick.
I always say Frederick.
Yeah, Frederick.
Frederick.
So
Federico.
I posted it on my page. 5 young descendants of,
Can we hear the clip?
Of Frederick Douglass.
I think the clip would sound better than you.
I am the great grandchild. I've been counting on my fingers since I was like 5.
This is the 4th of July. It is the birthday of your national independence and of your political freedom.
Fellow citizens, I shall not presume to dwell at length on the associations that cluster about this day. The simple story of it is that 76 years ago, the people of this country
were British subjects, so on and so forth. Yeah, but they asked 5 descendants of Frederick Douglass to read and respond to excerpts of his famous speech, What to Slave is the 4th of July. And that's what I've been reading online. They've been posting a lot of this speech. Like a quote that I came across earlier today.
What'd you think about it?
I think it's solid. I think it's like, and it's funny for me because my situation, and like, my dad was Greek, my mom's Dominican. There are 2 foreigners that came to this country, right? So I am a first generation, me, my sisters, my brothers. So like in my household, did I know racism? No. My mom is dark-skinned woman. My dad was this like olive European Greek guy. So you know what I'm saying? Like in my home, I saw 2 different shades of people love each other.
And I also want to throw out that Cruz's dad was with the shits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he did his little thing in Rikers Island. Want to throw that out there. You know what I'm
He
saying?
had a bid
Just
in
case
Rikers.
Anybody wants to hand Papa Cruz a short.
But, my dad,
just
he was
throwing it
this
out there.
Greek guy who went for this chocolate woman from DR. He went for the complete opposite of.
No disrespect to mom, but you know what I'm saying? I like to dabble in the chocolate myself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? As a light skin. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to throw that out there. You know what I'm saying?
No,
it happens, bro. It happens,
Absolutely.
is what I'm saying.
So in my household, like, I didn't see color. We just saw people. We saw people, different languages, different cultures, because literally 2 different like ranges of cultures on both sides. 2, way different.
It was almost a melting pot right inside of your household.
Absolutely, Zay. So it was crazy from the music, from the languages that I heard, from the cultures, and even family members. It was so like when we went to a family event, you saw everything. So
and
it
not
was
to put
really
your business
cool.
out there, but you just had to have a conversation with your sister. So all of this that's happening actively right now is something that is affecting your family.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Even my younger sister, because my younger sister has a different dad. She's half black, half Dominican. And growing up, at times my mom would like, oh yeah, you're Dominican, you're Dominican, but I had to pull her to the side when she was growing up and just say, hey, Titi, Angelica, you black, you're African American black. You understand what I'm saying? Your dad is a black person from here,
right?
So his ancestries are slaves from America.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out to Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. So Ronnie Walker, salute, good dude. But anyway, you know,
so the question.
So I get it. So I get it. Like, and at the end of the day, like, you know, it's just a name. Today, it's 4th of July. Because people are like, oh, name it Indigenous People Day. Name it this day. Name it that day. Name it. I'm for it. I mean, I'm not going to, I can't, I'm not going to, I can't. Yes, I grew up 4th of July. That's what we celebrate fireworks, 4th of July, America's independence, 4th of July. Woo, 4th of July. I get it. That's what we were taught. Even Columbus Day. Oh, we get off Columbus Day. Oh, cool. What's today? Oh, Columbus Day. Now we learn. The older we get, we learn about Columbus and what he did and what he was. We learn about what was going on with 4th of July and what it meant to a whole group of black people who were. You know, I heard a quote one day that said, "Stop saying black people were slaves. Black people were enslaved."
Correct.
I love it, bro.
Correct.
It's such a
because you take away the
black people were slaves. Anybody, any person can become a slave in the right situation. Right. You are enslaved. You're not a slave. It's you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, the difference between slave and enslaved, it takes away the humanity from it. It makes it almost kind of like a science fiction thing when it, in fact, is, you know, actual fact, reality. You know what
absolutely,
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And, you know, kind of just touching on the 4th at the same time, too, I think traditionally, like for me, I never really celebrate Christopher Columbus Day. You know what I'm saying? Only the Christopher that I recognize is Wallace. And the 4th of July, I think and I think we both agree to this, though. I'm saying, like, the 4th of July has been really just a time for you to get together with family, go to the beach,
absolutely,
barbecue.
Like
it wasn't so much like,
people who like,
let's get the flags out,
like,
USA.
Right, like, oh, hey, let's sit down around the table and talk about America's independence. Let's talk about the history. It's not that. It's like, oh, it's 4th of July. What's that? Hey, yeah, we got to cook out, invite the family, put on some music, let's eat, let's have a good time. That's what it was. It's a reason for people to get with family and have fun and cook and kick it. Right, exactly. So. 4th of July in 10 years, it's called something else or in a couple years or next year, whatever. If it's called something else, to me, the idea still remains. It's a day to celebrate, obviously, something, right? And we could figure out what that something should be together as we grow and learn.
I like that.
You know, I'm not against changing anything. Like, things have to change. People who are scared of change have to move out of the way.
Become dinosaurs.
You have to move out of the way. Yeah. You have to, because the younger generation doesn't care.
If you don't grow, you can't go.
Yeah, like, it doesn't care. If the younger generation realizes that something that we were doing is wrong, or it offends too many other population of people, or it's the right thing to do, then do it. Like, do it.
We need everybody to actually put in the comments what would be like a good replacement for 4th of July. Like, do we throw it out completely? We don't celebrate it at all? Or do we rebrand it and rename it, you know, to be more reflective of what actually was? Like, I don't know.
Right, what it represented actually.
Y'all throw something in the comments, man. Let us know.
Yeah, no,
I'm curious. I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because how do you make it pretty? Right. How do you make it pretty? You don't make that pretty. You can doll it up any way you want to, but they still, black people were slaves, treated miserably for hundreds of years. Like, that's it. That's a fact. I
think whenever you do anybody wrong,
black people were enslaved. See, I did it again.
Right,
black people were enslaved.
I think whenever you do anybody wrong, the beginning part of making it right is just admitting that it happened.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that as a country, that's where we at right now. We just won't admit that it happened.
Yeah,
as a whole, like, you got to think about it when you're in a relationship, right? In a relationship, do you fail? Does your significant other fail? No, you fail together as a relationship. So I just feel as a country, we're in a space where we just don't want to admit certain things.
Yeah.
And until we do, that's when that dialogue can actually open up for us to be able to rebrand, rename, and really start teaching ourselves actual history of what it is. I think we're just in a space right now, kind of like, you know, like a mom and a dad, you know, when, you know, your mom told you that your dad left and he ain't give a shit about you. But really, you know, he was calling and he was trying to send stuff, but she was like, fuck him. So, you know, again, it just kind of changes the history a little bit of what we believe. You see what I'm saying? So I just think that once we can have that dialogue, then that'll be a good place for us to start.
Well said. I agree. Oh, yeah, and I also feel like it's an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people. You know, it is. It's just like, well, you know, I hear the argument like, why do I? You know, I personally didn't have a slave ever. You know, nobody I knew. Like, why do I do I as a white person have to apologize automatically all the time for everything that's happened? I get it. Like, whatever. So, like you said, it has to be. The only way we're gonna get past it is by talking about it.
I think like you could almost break it down like on a street level though, right? It'd be like, look, Kruz, we was out and about somewhere, and somebody be like, yo, look, man, your man Kruz, bro, like, he really offended the fuck out of us. Now, I didn't particularly offend anybody. But then I would have to be like, hey, bro, you know, they're looking at us crazy right now because of what you did. So we together have to go and say, hey, man, that we misrepresented what it was and apologize and try to make it right and move forward.
Right.
I think that's the best way to like just break it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the problem is, as we're looking at it, like, it's almost like, well, I mean, I didn't do that to you. Kruz did that to you. That didn't have nothing to do with me.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if we're not taking
the
responsibility as a community.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I feel you. Yeah.
Not me in particular, because, you know, I'm with the shits, but I'm just saying, you know, the people.
Yeah. So did you also hear that the Redskins are
gone? Finito. Bye-bye.
The logo.
So what are they going to call them now?
I don't know. Is it I heard Washington Americans. The Washington Americans. Is it one thing they were thinking about?
More lies.
Making that
I'm just saying, more lies. The Washington Americans.
I mean, hey, that's fine. The Washington Americans. The Washington what? You can't, you know. But
this Thanksgiving, the Dallas Cowboys, is it they play the
Could you imagine though losing your logo and the name of your team? Like for all football fans, whatever your favorite football team is.
So what happens to the people that have the jersey? Are those going to be worth money now, or or are they just worth shit now?
I mean, technically, this is funny because my neighbor is a big Redskins fan.
So what's
like
his
I
take
bring it
on
up sometimes. Well, he's just, you know, he doesn't want to seem like he doesn't want to be insensitive and say, nah, like, so he's kind of like with it, like, you know, and part of him's like, yeah, fuck it, change it. But at the same time, he has all this like gear, this Redskins. I'm sorry.
So what is he gonna do with it now?
Yeah, well, no, that's what I'm saying. What do you do with it? What do you do with, you know? Well, I mean, but there's jerseys out there of the, what is it? I don't think L.A. Rams.
Yeah.
Right? There's
a
L.A. Rams.
Patriots, they just signed Cam Newton.
Is it Tennessee Titans still?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still Tennessee. Yeah. Cam Newton. I heard about that. Yeah, but nobody wants to talk about that. If the Steelers had to change their logo, I'd have to get used to it. But I'd be like, oh no, not the logo. Or the Steelers, you have to change their name.
I'm just saying the Washington Americans sounds a lot like.
Oh, that was a rumor that I heard. I mean, it could be anything. It could be the Washington capitalists, the Washington
racists,
the Washington
anarchy. Well, no, because you know they had that thing over. They pretty much took over the city when they had their protests.
Yeah, well, one of the cities is still kind of under
siege.
The 6 block radius.
Is it?
But they say I've heard that like people like, again, I don't know for a fact, but I just heard that it's starting to dwindle a little bit.
I wonder what's going to come out of all this.
What, this show?
Oh, this is going to be a big check. I mean, just everything that's happening around us, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, again, back to like just to wrap it all up, you know.
Bring it all in, Kruz.
We learn. We're learning every day. Like I said, I woke up today and learned so many things. And Frederick Douglass, his speech, and other people's opinions. And again, we're learning so much. And you gotta be willing to change.
Yeah,
you know?
Just have that attitude of learning.
Learn and
be
take
open.
The shit in.
Be open to hearing what people are.
Don't be so offended if somebody says, "Hey, I don't really want to celebrate 4th of July."
Right.
You should be like, ask them why, and like see what they say, and then like be like, "Oh shit, well that makes sense. Why you don't? Why you feel like you shouldn't celebrate it?" I hate you. Literally, I'm watching it. I'm reading the Frederick Douglass thing, and I'm like, man. Fuck 4th of July, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, because you're seeking understanding.
You're human. I mean, if I don't care, a human being is writing a speech like that because of the way they look or something about them, they were oppressed to that way where, oh, yeah, that sucked. I totally get it why you don't celebrate 4th of July.
Right.
You know, hey, I'm gonna still go over here with my family and celebrate it over here because it like been doing it for years, and this is what we do.
It's more of a family gathering, guys.
More than anything, I'm not over here celebrating that America was the biggest hypocrite of ever saying, hey, freedom reign.
Yeah, because I definitely,
go do that. That's like the biggest, it's like, what? Or people of the Bible, Jesus said, and then go do some inhuman stuff to another human being just because, and buying him and selling him as like their property. Like, come on. Like, it's a big hypocritical joke. So I'm going to go celebrate it just the celebration of family and time together and maybe some fireworks because we're so used to it. But am I with maybe changing the idea of 4th of July in this country? Absolutely.
All right. Just can we keep the barbecue part?
Yeah. Right.
Y'all don't forget to turn on the notifications, you know what I'm saying, and subscribe to The Vibe. It's another episode of Zay and Kruz.
It's Thoughts of the Day with Kruz and Zay.
We out.